Part 1. First Contact Folly. The Valaxian Empire had ruled their corner of the galaxy for over 12,000 years. They were the undisputed masters of 17 star systems, their technology refined through millennia of careful advancement and calculated conquest. Commander Zeth Kor of the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion had personally overseen the subjugation of 3 primitive species. Each campaign had followed the same efficient pattern: observation, analysis, demonstration of overwhelming force, and ultimately, integration into the Empire. This new species would be no different. Tactical assessment complete, Commander, reported Science Officer Vila, her scaled fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The alien vessel appears to utilize rudimentary fusion propulsion. Their shield technology is detectable but primitive. Weapon systems consist primarily of kinetic projectiles and low-yield energy beams. Zeth Kor's 4 golden eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of satisfied confirmation among his kind. His translucent head crest pulsed with blue light, indicating calm confidence. Classification, he inquired, voice resonating with the natural harmonic overtones of the Valaxian elite caste. Tier 7 developmental stage, Vila responded. They've achieved interstellar travel, but remain at least 300 cycles behind Imperial standards. Their vessel markings identify them as humans from a system they call Sol. Our data suggests they've only ventured beyond their home system within the last century. The commander's crest shifted to a deep purple of amused superiority. Another young race overreaching. Deploy the scanner drones. I want a complete technological assessment before we initiate first contact protocols. 3 sleek, diamond-shaped drones detached from the Eternal Dominion's undercarriage, their silvery hulls reflecting the distant starlight as they accelerated toward the human vessel. Standard procedure: scan, analyze, catalog weaknesses, then return to prepare the optimal subjugation strategy. The human vessel is transmitting, announced Communications Officer Dren. Audio and visual on multiple frequencies. Translation matrix is processing. Display, ordered Zeth Kor. The main view screen flickered, revealing a bipedal creature with brownish skin and dark hair pulled back tightly against its skull. 2 eyes, a protruding nasal structure, and a lipid mouth, remarkably similar to dozens of other species the Empire had encountered. Attention unidentified vessels. The creature spoke, the translation software converting its sounds into proper Imperial dialect. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Alliance exploration vessel Dauntless. We come in peace and seek diplomatic relations. Please respond. Zeth Kor clicked his mandibles in amusement. How predictable these emerging species were, always pleading for peace when confronted by superior force. No response necessary, he told Dren. Let them wait while our scans complete. We'll address them once we understand exactly what we're dealing with. On the view screen, the human captain's expression changed subtly. Zeth Kor's species prided themselves on their ability to read alien body language, a crucial skill when determining the most efficient path to submission. This human displayed what appeared to be concern, perhaps even disappointment. Our scanner drones are in position, reported Vila, beginning comprehensive analysis. The drones surrounded the human vessel, their advanced quantum entanglement sensors penetrating every level of the ship's structure, analyzing materials, energy systems, data networks, and biological signatures. The process was thorough and entirely one-directional. The primitive vessel would have no way of detecting the sophisticated scans, let alone defending against them. At least, that was how it had always worked before. Commander, Vila's voice carried an unfamiliar note of confusion. I'm detecting anomalous energy readings from the human vessel. Explain, demanded Zeth Kor. The drone sensors indicate that their hull material is changing at the molecular level. It appears to be reconfiguring in response to our scan. Impossible, Zeth Kor dismissed. Their technology is far too primitive for adaptive materials. Nevertheless, Vila insisted, the evidence is clear. The human vessel's outer layer is forming complex crystalline structures that appear to be refracting our scan signals. On the view screen, Captain Chen's expression had shifted again. The concern was gone, replaced by something that made Zethkor's crest involuntarily flush yellow. The universal Valaxian response to perceived threat. The human was smiling. "We're losing telemetry from Drone 1, reported Tactical Officer Mrek. Drone 2 is reporting cascading system failures. Drone 3. A flash of light on the view screen interrupted him as the third scanner drone simply disintegrated, its molecules seemingly scattered to the void. "What just happened?" Zethkor demanded. Before anyone could respond, the communication channel activated again. Captain Chen's face reappeared, her smile now tempered with seriousness. "Valaxian vessel," she said, the perfect pronunciation of their species name sending a chill through Zethkor's spine. "Your uninvited scans of the Dauntless have been interpreted as a potentially hostile action under United Earth Alliance. First Contact Protocol 7B. I should inform you that your scanning technology created a two-way quantum link with our defensive systems." "Two-way," Zethkor whispered, the implications suddenly dawning on him. "Cut all connections to the drones. Full communications blackout." "Too late," Chen continued as if she could hear his orders. "Your quantum entanglement scanners provided an excellent pathway into your systems. We've already acquired your language database, technical specifications, and tactical protocols." "Impossible," Zethkor roared. "No Tier 7 civilization could possibly interpret our quantum scanning technology, let alone reverse engineer it during a routine scan." Chen's expression shifted again, now showing something like sympathetic amusement. "I think there's been a misunderstanding about humanity, Commander Zethkor. Your classification system has failed you." The main lights on the Eternal Dominion flickered briefly. Warning signals began flashing across multiple control stations. "Secondary systems are being accessed," Vila reported, her scales paling with alarm. "Something is extracting data from our central archives." "How do you know my name?" Zethkor demanded of the human. "As I said," Chen replied calmly, "your scan created a two-way link. You've spent the last 12,000 years perfecting your technology through careful, methodical advancement. That's admirable, but it's not the human way." The view screen split, showing detailed schematics of the Eternal Dominion alongside the human vessel. The Dauntless was changing before their eyes, its hull now covered with intricate patterns that pulsed with energy. "Throughout our history," Chen continued, "humans have faced existential threats that forced us to adapt rapidly or perish. We've survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and our own destructive tendencies. When we finally reached the stars, we carried with us one crucial lesson: be prepared for anything. Our sensors indicate their ship's energy output has increased by 700%. Rek reported, mandibles clicking anxiously. Their hull composition has completely transformed. It's now generating a field that our systems cannot classify." Zethkor fought to maintain his composure. "Activate defensive shields. Charge weapons arrays." "Weapons and shields are not responding," Rek replied, panic evident in his voice. "Something is overriding our command protocols." "Your quantum scanning technology is elegant," Chen acknowledged, "but it had one critical vulnerability. It assumes a one-way information flow. Our adaptive defense network was specifically designed to exploit such assumptions." The human ship was now glowing with a blue-white luminescence that reminded Zethkor of stories from his childhood. Ancient legends of star spirits that could reshape reality itself. "What are you?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Chen's expression softened. "We're humans, Commander. We're explorers, diplomats, scientists, and when necessary, survivors. Your scan classified us as a Tier 7 civilization based on observable technology, but you failed to account for our adaptive capabilities." The lights on the Eternal Dominion stabilized. The warning signals ceased their urgent flashing. "I've taken the liberty of correcting several critical flaws in your ship's power distribution system," Chen said. You had an imbalance that could have caused a catastrophic failure within the next 6 months. Consider it a gesture of goodwill. Zethkor stared at the viewscreen in disbelief. In 12,000 years of expansion, the Valaxian Empire had never encountered a species that could not only resist their technology but improve upon it. We have 3 options before us, Chen continued. 1. You can retreat and inform your empire that this sector is now under human protection. 2. You can accept our invitation for diplomatic relations as equals. Or 3. She paused, her smile fading. Well, let's just say we'd prefer options 1 or 2. For the first time in his distinguished career, Commander Zethkor of the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion found himself completely at a loss. The human vessel had transformed from prey to predator in a matter of minutes, without firing a single shot. And it had begun with a simple scan. The adaptive response. Silent tension gripped the command deck of the Eternal Dominion. Commander Zethkor's crest fluctuated between yellow alarm and the deep red of strategic calculation. Around him, his crew awaited orders, their scaled fingers hovering uncertainly over consoles that might no longer be under their control. Analysis, he finally said, his voice deliberately steady to project authority he wasn't certain he still possessed. Science Officer Vila responded immediately. The human vessel has completely reconfigured itself, Commander. What we initially classified as a simple exploration ship has transformed its entire structural and energy configuration. Our systems can no longer properly classify their technology. How? Zethkor demanded. No species could adapt so quickly. It appears they didn't need to adapt during our scan, Vila replied, her scales shifting to the blue-green hue of scientific fascination despite the situation. The evidence suggests their ship was designed from the beginning to evolve when exposed to new technological paradigms. They were prepared for this encounter. On the view screen, Captain Chen waited patiently, her expression neutral but attentive. There was no gloating, no aggression, just the calm confidence of someone who held all the advantages and knew it. Communication analysis, Zethkor ordered. Communications Officer Dren responded. She's telling the truth about accessing our systems, Commander. I'm detecting multiple intrusion markers throughout our network. They've extracted significant data, but have not corrupted or destroyed anything. In fact, he paused, mandibles clicking in confusion. Several long-standing system errors appear to have been corrected. Zethkor considered his options. The Empire had strict protocols for first contact scenarios, but none that covered being technologically outmaneuvered within minutes of encounter. Retreat would mean disgrace. Combat seemed futile given the demonstrated capabilities of the human vessel. That left only one viable path. Open the channel, he ordered. Captain Chen's image expanded to fill the view screen. Captain Chen of the human vessel Dauntless, Zethkor began formally. You have demonstrated unexpected capabilities. The Valaxian Empire acknowledges your technological sophistication. I am authorized to initiate preliminary diplomatic discussions. Chen nodded respectfully. Thank you, Commander. We appreciate your willingness to engage diplomatically. However, Zethkor continued, his crest pulsing with determination, I must insist that you withdraw from our systems immediately. Your incursion, while perhaps justified as a defensive measure, constitutes a violation of Valaxian sovereignty. A fair point, Chen conceded. We'll disengage from your non-essential systems immediately. However, I hope you understand that we'll maintain monitoring of your weapons and propulsion as a precaution until we've established mutual trust. Before Zethkor could respond, Tactical Officer Mrek interrupted urgently. Commander, 3 Imperial cruisers have just emerged from hyperspace. They're moving to surround the human vessel. On the view screen, Chen showed no surprise. Of course, Zethkor realized. If she had access to their communications, she would have known about the patrol squadron scheduled to rendezvous with the Eternal Dominion. Captain, he said quickly, I must warn you that these vessels operate independently of my command. I suggest you power down your systems and... No need for concern, Commander, Chen interrupted calmly. We anticipated this development. As if on cue, 3 sleek vessels materialized around the Dauntless, seeming to phase into existence from nowhere. They were clearly of human design, but with variations in their structure and energy signatures. Allow me to introduce the UEA vessels Resolute, Indomitable, and Steadfast, Chen said. They'd been observing our interaction from the beginning. Impossible, whispered Vila. Our sensors would have detected them. Your sensors detected exactly what we wanted them to detect, Chen replied, having apparently heard the comment. Just as your empire has spent millennia perfecting its technology, humanity has spent centuries perfecting the art of survival against potentially superior forces. Deception and adaptation are our specialties. The 3 newly revealed human ships positioned themselves in a defensive formation that precisely mirrored that of the approaching Valaxian cruisers. Commander, Mrek reported, the human vessels are generating the same unclassifiable energy field as the Dauntless. They appear to be linking somehow, creating a unified defense network. Zethkor felt a mixture of dread and reluctant admiration. In all his years commanding Imperial forces, he had never encountered such a perfectly executed technological ambush. The humans had not only neutralized his flagship's advantages, but had revealed a hidden force precisely when it would have maximum psychological impact. Captain Chen, he said, choosing his words carefully, you have demonstrated both technological superiority and tactical restraint. The Empire respects strength. I propose an immediate cease of all hostile positioning and the establishment of a neutral communication protocol for further diplomatic discussion. Chen smiled, but this time Zethkor recognized the expression as one of genuine relief rather than tactical confidence. I accept your proposal, Commander, she said. To demonstrate our good faith, we'll withdraw from your remaining systems and restore full control of the Eternal Dominion to you. Almost immediately, status indicators across the command deck returned to normal. Control interfaces responded correctly again. Weapons, shields, and propulsion came back online. We're receiving a data package from the human vessel, reported Dren. It contains diplomatic protocols, cultural information,